Welcome to RGBA, Colorful Tech News and Reviews. This is episode 68. My name is Alexandre Valliere-Lagacé, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler Ménard. For a while, we had follow-ups at my Nespresso, but it's not the case anymore. So no more Nespresso follow-up. Let's jump right into a news that triggered lots of discussion this week. I don't know about you, but at my workplace, we were kind of like, huh? Yeah? Huh? Why? Oh, God. The Amazon Cloud Cam. So yeah, so you might have ordered packages through Amazon over the years. For a long time, it was coming using USPS in the States and Canada Post in Canada. But since they enabled the Prime memberships and 1 day, 2 day shipping, or even some places same day shipping, they are not relying on the regular postal service. They are using third-party companies. In Montreal, they are using Intelcom, and what they usually do, these Intelcom delivery guys and girls, is that they drop the package on your porch, snap a picture from their smartphone, and run away. So it can be useful if you're at home, always, or at work. But if you're not at home, the packages are dropped like on your front porch, and they don't really do a good way of hiding them. So for example, I have like 2 big potted plants on my front porch, and they could have just put the small, tiny ETBT package right behind it, but they rarely do. One time they put it under the Publisac, which is the bag of ads we received in the mail, which was pretty funny because you could see the box from the side, but not from the top. And when you're on the street, you see the box from the side. So it was really like a bad try at hiding the box. So Amazon has a solution for that. They are basically going to let the delivery people go inside your house.
What's the name of the product? Amazon Lock?
Cloud Cam? Well, no, they use a third-party lock. Like, I don't know exactly which one are compatible.
No, Cloud Cam, you're mistaken. Cloud Cam is like Nest or the Canary thing.
Yeah, so actually the name is not Amazon Cloud. That's the little camera that they released at the same time. But in the States, at least for now, the Amazon Key is the service that will let the delivery driver go inside your house. So yeah, it's pretty weird. Basically, the delivery guy gets it to your house. You should have a smart lock. That's a compatible model. And then once they are in front of your house, they request access to your house. Then this sends a trigger message to your Amazon Cloud Cam camera, which starts recording, which is usually placed inside your house, aiming at your front porch. And then the door unlocks, and the delivery guy can get in, drop the package, and close the door, and it's going to lock itself again. So in theory, this could be useful, but I can see so many ways that this can be either abused or just simply break or not work reliably or have other types of issues. So it's what do you think?
I prefer I think you had the idea, or you saw online, or I don't know where you got it, but you're the one that told me to have like a box, like a big metal box next to your door with a lock. And then when the delivery guy comes in, he just drops the box in your big metal box, and then he locks the lock. Like, that's a better solution. I don't know why you'd want the guy to come into your house and drop something off. It's a lot of trust to put into. It's not just Amazon. It's all the third parties, like you were saying at the beginning, that deliver for them, and it's always a mess. Like you're home, but they say you're not home, and now why would I trust them to come into my actual house? I don't know. I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. The big box is already something that exists. It's just not connected. So it's just a dumb box where you put your packages in when you get deliveries. I understand that installing a webcam in your house and having a smart lock can give you benefits for that. It's easier to open your locks and everything, and they can use that to do the delivery properly. But like you said, like if Wi-Fi goes down, if the camera isn't properly angled, if ever there's a glitch and your door unlocks just because it can, it's pretty special. And just think about the hacking perspective of these things.
Yeah, last
It
week
would
we
be
talked about the Wi-Fi there, that people can gain access to your Wi-Fi. They can gain
yeah,
access to your home Wi-Fi. They can gain access to your Amazon key somehow.
yeah, exactly. And they can probably do like in those those spy movies where they put like a piece of film that goes in a circular fashion, so you don't actually see the real thing that the camera is aiming at, and just go in your house, steal all your stuff, and go out, and
Yeah, like Mission
nothing was
Impossible.
ever seen. Yeah, so we'll see how this pans out, but I'm not too hopeful for this kind of technology. People were already afraid of having the echo look in their bedroom, so a webcam that's always enabled. Um, and now one more that is actually tied to your door, and your door can be unlocked by it. Not too sure.
I don't even know what I think about just normal smart locks, and like I don't know if I'm not against it, but I'm for them or anything. But now this one that it's connected with Amazon on top of all that, so that's even like more a no go for me, I think.
Yeah. Well, some smart locks are not connected, so it's just by Bluetooth. So they have a Paris sequence, and you have a unique secure key, and then that's what you use to unlock your lock when you're about like 1.5 meters from your door, and that's fine because it's not connected, so it cannot be abused by outside source unless they hack the RSA encryption that comes with those devices. But now this one, it's fully connected, and it's probably taking like a regular like door lock and add a bunch more complexity to it. So I'm not sure about like how easy it is to keep that secure, like both on the lock side and on the Amazon side, and everything interacting and like preventing man in the middle attack and stuff like that. So it's pretty scary.
Did you ever test like smart locks?
Yeah, I tested one, the Kevo lock. I don't remember exactly the name. It was exactly that. It came with a Bluetooth dongle. So if you didn't have like a Bluetooth, what is it, Bluetooth 4, I think, compatible phone, you could use that little dongle, and it worked fine most of the time, not all the times. Sometimes it would you just tap the lock, and it would search for your phone, and then once it found it, it unlocks the door. But oftentimes it took maybe like 2 taps, which would be about 10 seconds each. And a few times it even took like 3 taps to find my phone, unlock, and go in. And so I could have locked and unlocked my door like 10 times in that period. So it was not perfect, but that was in the iPhone 4S days or 5. Yeah, I think iPhone 5 days. And my wife had my old iPhone 4, so she was not able to use Bluetooth, so she had the dongle. It was much more reliable, but the battery was draining fast. Like a small CR, I don't know, 2016 or 2032, what battery, whatever. It was about a month and a half at most, and then it was already drained. So yeah, it worked nice. The problem I had with it was the reliability and the color. It was not matching the rest of my
Hardware.
door fixtures, yeah, hardware. So the wife didn't approve.
It
So,
was
and
yeah,
understandably,
that's the biggest problem.
yeah, they kind of make gray, but it's not the real gray that you usually find. They kind of make like a bronze one, but it's not the same bronze that you usually find. So it's like, yeah, I understand that it's a smart thingy, but it should at least get the proper colors.
Ideally, they'd have to set with the door handle. So you have the door handle and the lock that's the same color, matching color.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But that's more expensive.
I think in the States it's also Wiser who is partnering with the company who made the Kevo lock. So they should like already have those palette of colors and be able to use the same finish and everything. But it seems that they're just partnering for the distribution itself and not for the design or concept or coloring. So yes, this Amazon key down. We also have the Amazon Cloud Cam. I haven't really read about it, so
But
can
it
you?
was released at the same time as the key, as a thing that you put inside your house, like facing your door with the Amazon key, so you can see the delivery guy go in and out, I guess.
Yeah, but you still need the smart lock. But this one is just the cam itself, like the kind of like the Nest Cam, I think.
Like the Nest Cam and like the Canary cameras.
Okay, so it's monitoring 24/7. It's in full HD. No 4K, like their most recent Nest Cam. They have 4K, I think. And they can pan in your shot using HD resolution. So let's say that you aim the camera at your front porch and then somebody comes in the middle of the frame, it can zoom to that person in full HD and track him by its face to follow him around. So, but this one doesn't have that. So two-way audio, which is nice. So you can talk to the other end if ever you need to. Useful when you have kids at home and you just want to send them a quick message. Those camera, I really like what they do with it, but the problem usually is the price of hosting the video, like recordings of 7 days or whatever. So do you have an idea of how much that is?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know the Canary, sometimes they can record to your NAS, so that makes it a lot cheaper.
Yeah, this is one solution usually. And Synology has a surveillance station, which is a surveillance app. So that's useful sometimes with some models, but it has to be compatible. But usually if the company offers like cloud recording, they will not be very NAS friendly because they want to promote their service and they want to charge you per month forever. So
right.
Yeah, so there's basically like the included plan, which is 24 hours of storage for up to 3 cameras. So that's free and you get alerts and notification. So that's the basic one. And if you want to pay for a plan, then it's 7, 10 or $20 per month. $7 gives you 7 days of recording, still up to 3 cameras, but you also have like person detection, zone, unlimited sharing, and extended and pro mode, pro plan, they're 14 and 30 days. So, and they also offer the same thing, the detection, the zones, and the unlimited sharing, but you can go up to 5 and 10 cameras. So yeah, it's interesting because you can have more cameras, but it's only one price you pay. Whereas I think other companies like D-Link and stuff, they offer you a plan, but it's a price per camera. So it's like $5 a month per camera. So if you have like 2 or 3 cameras, starts to add up pretty fast. And in this case, it's only one single price for the whole thing.
It's like a not a plan, but like a security package, all-in-one security home thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little service there. The cameras are not too expensive, so they're $119 for one, and you can buy 3 for $289. So it's not that expensive considering that it's HD. And we still have to look at the reviews to see exactly the quality of it, because oftentimes just saying it's HD capture doesn't mean anything. It could be like an awful quality nonetheless. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's an interesting product just by itself, not with the Amazon key.
Right.
So moving on to the big news yesterday. Yesterday was Friday, so it was the iPhone X pre-order day. So people were rushing to their computers at 3 a.m. Eastern time to reserve their iPhone for hopefully delivery on November 3rd or close. Did you order one?
Nope. Did you?
Nope, me neither. I wanted to, but I was totally like lost in my work this week. We had a pretty busy week and I didn't realize it was already Friday and it was already the day that the phone was coming out. So just because I wanted to scalp it, because I have no interest of changing my phone yet, especially at the price it is. And the more and more I learn about this phone, the more and more I see the prices are so expensive. The following news will explain the repair costs, and it's just awful. So yeah, at 3 a.m., people started to try to order it. It didn't take more than a few minutes, and people were starting to have like delivery in 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And when I woke up, it was already 5 to 6 weeks for us in Canada, at least.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty worldwide right now. It's 5 to 6 weeks for everybody.
Yeah, this basically just tells me that they're going to have like a first initial shipment for those who are going to get it on the first week. And then the second shipment probably comes in like a month later. So that's why everybody has a 5 to 6 week almost, because that's when the bulk of the order will come in.
Also, I know all the Canadian carriers have pre-order dates. I know Rogers has pre-order date. I think it's November 1st for pickups on November 3rd. So you still have a last chance if you want to get it really on November 3rd.
Oh, okay.
And Bell and something, I don't think it's Rogers, but I just know there's one of the big three in Canada that's doing that November 1st.
Okay. And Apple says that the pre-orders are off the charts. So, as usual, this is a very PR statement and doesn't tell us anything about the number of pre-orders or if it really was pre-ordered that much. It's just that for them, it's a good pre-order.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the having the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus released before will help, or it's gonna just doesn't matter because people were still holding off for this one?
I think it didn't matter if you wanted to buy a 10, you were waiting for the 10. You didn't jump ship and buy an 8 like straight away.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen this year is every year we only have like one phone that's new, and people jump on this one every. On average, I think it's every 2 years. But now this year, even though we have the 8 and 8 Plus released before, people who were hoping to change phones to get a 10, well, a new phone will get the 10 for sure. But there's also a substantial percentage of people who are not really due to an update, but just because the sheer form factor and the new thing is so shiny that they might not wait for next year and just do it this year. So people like me, for example, who bought a 7 or 7 Plus, they might not be ready to go to a next model, but you know what? This new phone is so different, so special. Let's jump on it. So I'm thinking that it's actually going to be worse. We're going to get more people trying to get the 10 than they used to be.
This week or the week before, they came out, Apple, with a don't forget to pre-order the phone on October 27th. That's going to be, the phone is going to be not restrained, but supply restraint, and that you can still wait in line in the store to get a phone. Because I think it's been a couple of years since they don't have stock in the stores, and they suggest you buy it online.
And this year is like it was in the past.
I think they might be trying to like build hype and have people in front of the store, because that's big news usually when they film the line and everything.
Yeah, it's usually good media coverage. And there's not much happening early in November, end of October, like we are right now. So it's perfect timing for them to just have people line around the block and hopeful to get their hands on one. People sleeping in front of the stores for like 3 days or whatever.
Okay, I have it. It's Fido, the Canadian company that's pre-orders on November 1st.
Good. So there's one person who's not going to get an iPhone X right now. It's funny, like, yeah, well, there's a third person, Steve Wozniak, told a reporter that he was not going to get the iPhone X. It would be the first iPhone since the release of the first model that he will not buy one the first day. He wants to wait and see. But then again, at the end, he just says his wife will get one, so he'll be in close proximity of one anyways. So... But yeah, it's just fun how people in the media just take this Woz news and make it so flamboyant, like, oh my God, the iPhone is doomed because Woz doesn't want one or whatever. Just like the guy has other interests right now, and he has an iPhone 8 already, so why would he need something else right now? Like, he can buy it in a month or two and he should be okay. He's pretty busy anyway, so.
I feel like we get this news every year.
Yeah, every year Steve Wozniak has a comment on the new iPhone that it's not as crazy or as special as before. I think last year it was like, oh, it's nice, it's blacker, but it's the exact same thing as the iPhone 6S. Like, okay. And they did the same thing with the iPhone 6S, saying that it was the same as the iPhone 6. And even like this week, he said exactly that. He already has an iPhone 8, which is the same as the 7, which is the same as the 6S, which is the same as the 6. And then he put his hand in front of his mouth like, oops. So I said earlier that the repair cost would be quite intense for this model of phone. Just for fun, if you have Apple Care Plus on your iPhone 7, for example, and you want to get it repaired, it's going to cost you $30. Okay. If you have an iPhone X, $30. Okay, fine. But if you're out of warranty, let's say that you don't get this super nice Apple Care Plus, and you have to bring your phone for repair, the price is $279 instead of $129. So it's much more expensive just to get it serviced. And that's assuming the repair is very simple. But if you have a broken back or broken glass, and you have Apple Care Plus, it's for the iPhone X, it's $100. And if you don't have it, it's $549. If you compare it to the iPhone 8, which is $349 out of warranty. Pretty expensive. So hopefully that glass back will last a long time and will not be prone to shattering when dropped, because this will be quite something to pay for.
And how much is the screen? $279.
I think it's the same price as the back. Was it? Yeah. So front screen is $279, and if you have like accidental damage, like a broken back, that's $549. So it's even though you already paid, what is it, like $179, I think, for Apple Care Plus, or
Isn't
more
it,
than that.
Isn't it based on the price of the device?
Yeah, so it's probably more than that even. Yeah, so get a case.
Get a case. No.
Oh no.
No. Apple Care Plus is $199.
So $200 for an iPhone X right off the bat, and then if you are lucky to be under warranty, you can get it fixed. But if you're not, if you don't get the Apple Care Plus, that $200 will now jump to $500. So yeah, I think for 3 years it's worth it. But the sad thing is that you already pay like $1,500 for it. Now you add an extra $200. Wow.
Might as well make it a nice round $2,000.
For a phone, man. For a phone.
In Canada, that's it. It's $2,000 if you want Apple Care Plus with a 264 model.
Jeez. Yep. Okay. Not for me.
Moving on with the paying theme and money. News came out this week. I think it's TechCrunch. So they say Apple Pay now has 20% of the market of all like a mobile contactless payments, and no, sorry, I might have that wrong. It has 90% of the market, but it's in 20 markets, like 20 countries. So it seems like a lot, especially since Apple isn't the premier like device manufacturer. I think Samsung makes more, or just Android in general has more phones out there. So and they also have Android Pay. I know there's Samsung Pay, and there's another Chinese thing that I always forget too. That's all like these mobile pay services, but 90% seems huge to me.
Yeah, this tells me basically that for Android, it might just be like the flagship models that have these features. And the flagship models are usually more expensive, and people in the Android world are usually paying less for their devices. So even though there's more Android devices, there might be just a little bit of them who have the feature and who can like be used for mobile payments. So perhaps even though they sell a lot more devices, the percentage is so small that in the end it's less than the Apple devices, because you can pay with your Apple Pay for many years now, and all models support it. So think of this like how many iPhones do they sell per year? Like 200 million or something. So it's not hard to think that, let's say maybe only 25% of the people used Apple Pay, but it's probably more than whatever is sold per quarter, per year for Android devices with a compatible Android Pay or Samsung Pay or whatever other service. So yeah, I'm thinking that it makes sense. And also the ease of use is probably much more apt for a non-tech person to use those features on the Apple platform. And also, you also hear Apple Pay in the news much more often than other companies. So maybe that also helps. And there are some stickers at different stores. If you go to more recent stores or stores owned by younger store owners, they are usually quite heavy on the stickers on the door, and they often have Apple Pay stickers. So I think it makes sense.
I see the Android Pay also often like right next to the Apple Pay.
Yeah, usually they try to get both, but I've also seen the Apple Pay more often than the Android Pay. So yeah, I think that just comes down to the number of compatible devices.
Do you use it a lot?
So rarely, basically never, because I already have those chips in my debit or credit card. So when I do my purchases, I often have to take out my Air Miles card, and it's already opened my wallet. So I just take my debit card and tap it there. And yeah, I don't do so many small transactions. I do mostly one big transaction for groceries. So it's way above the limit. And also what I don't like is they can set per store limits. So some stores will be $100, some store will be $50, some stores will be $30. So it's always like a risk. Like you just try to pay with your watch and then, in this store it's the maximum 30 and you had like to pay for $32 and it won't go through. Then you take out your debit card and do your PIN and stuff. So it's not very practical, those limits that are different per store.
I use it everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I try it, and if it doesn't work, I take out my card, but I always try it. And then once you know that that particular merchant takes it, you're good. You're golden. Like for lunch. For lunch, I often go to, we have a grocery store right next to work, and they accept it. It's a big Provigo. It's a big chain there in Quebec. And I don't even bring my wallet anymore. I didn't reach the limit. I think it's $100, but if I'm just buying lunch, I'm fine.
Yeah, your lunch is on there, $100. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty cost efficient. Or I eat for under $100 per meal.
Nice.
It's hard, but you can do it.
Okay.
I'll share my tips offline.
Perfect. So, talking about the iPhone again, there's a Google employee who is now distancing himself from Google because he discovered those vulnerabilities on his own time out of work. But he basically proved that any iPhone app that's in the foreground that has access to your camera can take pictures and video and upload them if they feel like it without you ever knowing about it. So what he did basically is he built a little app that basically asks for your permission to use the camera. Then you take a picture. Okay, fine. Click, click. You see the usual camera screen. And then it's kind of like a timeline. And it's all of the images that are uploaded to his server from the app. And the timeline is scrolling constantly. And you start seeing pictures from the front camera, the back camera. And it's all like just taken right now. So basically, that's his kind of proof of concept of the problem. And it's pretty bad because we all know that just uploading a photo can come with lots of metadata. And let's say, for example, you have an app and you do not allow it to use GPS. Well, if you take a picture in the app and the picture gets uploaded, the picture will have the GPS information. So even though you said to this app, I don't want you to track me, well, they can still track you. So that's one way that this can be abused. And also just let's say you have an app that is an alarm clock or whatever, and you can take pictures from your bedroom all the time and upload them to a remote server. So there's a bunch of ways that this can be abused. So the links will be in the show notes if you want to see the example. He even has a little YouTube video of how to do it. Well, how he did, basically. And for Rumors Corner this week, there was one big rumor that went around. It was from some analyst that reported that Apple was not able to get a high enough yield of components for the Face ID system, and that they basically reduced the quality assurance for the parts. So we don't have much details, but what the report said is that instead of maybe tracking X number of dots in your face, it's going to track less number of dots to be able to be fast enough and efficient enough. So, and Apple, of course, well, no, not of course, because usually they never respond to those rumors. But I think there's so much to lose right now with Face ID if it doesn't work as well as they say it will, that they basically came out with a statement saying that it was not true, that they were not lowering the component quality to be able to deliver more or to manufacture more. So this was total bogus. So what do you think about that?
John Gruber has a big post of refuting all the people that were coming out this week saying that the quality of the Face ID was going down or came down because of supply constraints and all that.
Yeah, his main argument is that the choice to go Face ID for the iPhone X was done like over a year ago. So it's not like if it was decided this summer, it was decided a long time before. And if the decision was made, then everything was focused on that technology. And not just try to make work like a Touch ID behind the glass or whatever. It really was a decision made, and they were working for that. So those analysts, I don't know what their source are, but oftentimes I think they just like try to just say broad, like unclear, biased statements just to get some click on their thing and just to have their name in the media or something.
But there's always something, somebody anonymously from Apple, someone, somewhere, anonymous. Nobody wants to put their name out.
Yeah, well, and there might be no name also. It's just a blank statement that this person invented, this analyst. So it's so easy to just write an article and say that, according to an anonymous person at Apple, yeah, anybody can say that. And like, these are not journalists, so they don't have to keep track of their sources, and they don't have like a system in place to validate whatever they're saying, because newspapers and journals, they have a rigor that they have to follow. But these analysts are just like rogue electrons, just spitting out whatever they want. So they're not held to any accountability, so they can say whatever they want.
It's Bloomberg, right? That came out with this week?
I think it was Bloomberg, but from another source, right?
Or if it's Bloomberg, it was from Bloomberg.
It's possible, but if it's Bloomberg, I don't understand why they do such thing.
Yeah, it's the big story was from Bloomberg. The one you have in the links are from TechCrunch. They reference Bloomberg.
Eh ben. I don't know what to say. So one more rumor. A while back, there was an app called Bidit. It was a sleep tracking app. There were rumors that Apple, well, it went kind of like silent for a while. So people were wondering if they either like ran out of cash and were winding down, or if they were acquired. And then at one time, there was a story, I think it was about Grumman, that was said that it was going to be supported by Apple all of a sudden, because it was not supporting the Apple platform before that. And it was even listed in Apple support. And then one day they basically announced that it was acquired by Apple. So are we going to see some sleep trackers inside the Apple Watch that will be made by Bidit team, or are we going to see like an accessory for your bed? Because right now it's basically something for your bed. It's not for your watch per se. So, but perhaps it's going to be like squeezed into the Apple Watch for next year. So that's one thing to look at. More sensors in the Apple Watch, maybe. So that's always a way to go, I would say. And if they can also get the glucose monitoring in there, it would be even better. And yeah, so hopefully this is the case.
Yeah, glucose is going to be the big one, the game changer.
Yeah. Already now, if you have a heart condition, your watch can alert you if you're part of the research program. So eventually this will go out to everyone. There might be some calibration to be done beforehand, but then once you get this enabled, you can be alerted if you have a special condition with your heart, and if you have sugar level problems, it would be even better, because there's, I don't know, but how many millions American need that glucose testing before and after each meal, but it's pretty big number. And if they can get this to be just a sensor on your skin instead of needing a drop of blood, it would be so much popular. It would be crazy. Even for parents, like having their kids with an Apple Watch and being able to track it at a distance, always know what your child's sugar level is. So that would be, I would say, revolutionary for many parents.
And alerts too, like, hey, sugar's low, might want to take a snack or something.
All right, that's it for episode 68. You can find the show notes at rgba.fm/68. You can find us on Twitter at _RGBAfm. I'm personally at VALLIERES on Twitter.
And I'm TYLERMENARD.
Have a nice week.
Have a nice week.